Hey guys, Nick here with Nick's Collectibles. What I have for you here today is Arctic Mission Storm Shadow. I managed to get this guy in a little early. I still think he's a little early, though I think a lot of people may have reviewed him at this point. I'm just now getting time to be able to get around him. I have kind of quite the backlog of projects that I'm working on, so I apologize for being so late with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to open this guy up, we're going to take a look at him, we're going to see what we like, what we don't like. I'm pretty excited for this guy. I think this is going to make a great addition to the whole line as a whole. So let's get started and have some fun. I have to admit, now that I had this guy out of the box, I'm pretty excited and disappointed in myself that I didn't break this guy out center, because man, he is cool. No Arctic puns here. Hey, don't judge me. Anyway, looking at his head sculpt, I have to say, this is a really good head sculpt. He has a lot of detail on the hood, with almost a cloth-like texture molded in, and all the waves and creases make it look like real cloth, leaving me again impressed with the detail that they're putting into these figures given how low the price point is. You may have noticed as I'm moving around his head to show you the hood that it's actually wiggling a little, and that's because it comes completely off. I'll be honest, I didn't expect that when I was looking at him in the box. The detailing here is just as good as having that nice molded texture. Look at all the seams and lines you would expect out of a Ninja cow like this. They're all here. He even really has good detailing around the eyes. Let's take a look at his head motion though, which is really good. It moves up and down easily and left and right, and if you're worried about the hood causing issues, don't. I tested it earlier and the head moves just as well whether it's on or off, which means we're off to a really good start here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of his chest though next. I'm really happy with this gold on the shoulders and the detailing on the chest plate. It's really nice, even like how they did the Arashikage symbol proud on his left side of his chest in gold. It just looks awesome. He even has nice details of ice going further down the black sections of the armor itself that are just a really nice touch overall. The motion here is pretty good. He can twist side to side and it makes kind of a popping sound, but I think it was meant to because I think the joint is actually partially ratcheted a bit. I know the ab area is. Listen here as I'm moving back and forth. Hear that? He has a ratcheted torso, which is new to this line. I swear, every time I get one of these, they seem to have made minor improvements on the molds for these guys. I do wish he was a little tighter though, because mine sort of wiggles back and forth if I move him just a little bit in my hand. It's not a big deal, it's just an indicator that mine's a smidge loose for some reason. But overall, thumbs up on the upper torso. This is pretty well designed. Now, if we go ahead and turn him around to look at his arms, you can actually see that they have similar detailing to his head, and a nice armor plate on his shoulder. He has pretty good movement here. The wrist turns pretty easily. The elbow bends up and down, and he has good bicep movement. I'm glad to see that this is becoming more standard in the line, frankly. His arm will also move up though. As you can see, it's a little bit stiff on mine. He can also do a full 360 pretty easily, so all the basics you expect are covered here, which is good. I was a bit afraid that the shoulder plate, even as small as it is, would actually hinder his movement, but they got around that by having what looks to be an independent piece that the arm slips through and snaps into the chest piece, that you can kind of see here if I turn him just right. The plastic on it looks solid enough, but I wouldn't go crazy with it, lest you warp or accidentally break it with too much force. So it doesn't look really tender, but be careful. Let's go ahead and move to the back for now though, and man is this a well detailed back. He's got some super nice detailing with a gold inlay and the two white pieces next to it, and a piece to peg in his quiver. He also has a few pouches and some nice detailing around the waist piece, with it looking part samurai, part ninja. It's not a mix, but I like it a lot. Now if we go ahead and turn him around a little bit more, you can actually see the front of his belt, which honestly looks really good. It's a really oriental samurai slash ninja with plenty of molded pockets for smoke bombs and the like. And you would think all this stuff draping would actually hinder his leg movement, but really he moves forward just fine. And you can see he actually has good detailing here. It's in keeping with the rest of the theme of the figure. He even has a knee bend that goes past 90 if you wanted to. I just don't really want to push it anymore here. And he can move his leg way out to the side, pretty much to 90. He has good up and down toe articulation and good detailing here on the shin as well. Look at how that wraps around his leg and that little cleft part on the foot, making it look very much like a ninja's footwear. I'm really happy with how this came out so far, if you haven't noticed. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at its accessories, and there's quite a few. He comes with a grappling hook, complete with a line, which I really didn't want to unwind here and have dangling around everywhere during the review. A climbing hook, which I don't have an image of here because, quite frankly, I was opening mine up and parts kind of exploded into my face and flew around my room at high speed, and as of this writing, I can't for the life of me find it. So, yes, I was attacked in the filming of this product. You're welcome. So, he also comes with an arrow for his bow, which I have two issues with. One, it's hard to get him to hold it in any useful way. I've seen some people that have it gripping into his hand like he's just holding it. And I've seen some people have it where he's holding it by the fletching so he can fire it. But honestly, I'm struggling to get him to hold it at all without worrying about breaking it. So for my purposes, I'll probably never use this. Couple that with the fact that the rest of the arrows in his quiver have gold fletching, and this is all white, and I'm going to call this one a bit of a fail. It's nice to have, but it's mostly useless. His bow, however, looks great. It's got nice, good detailing and a good solid grip that, like most of this line, the way they molded his hands makes it kind of hard to get into his hand, but once it's there, it actually fits really nicely. If I had any complaints on this one, it would be that I would have liked to have seen a bowstring, or at the very least some small peg slot so you could put the arrow onto the bow. In short, it's close to awesome, but it fell slightly short in the execution. Now we come to a scabbard and sword. The blade actually fits really nicely here, and the detailing on the scabbard itself looks really nice. You can even see as you slide the blade out a bit that it has the Arashikage symbol near the hilt, which is a really nice touch. What's even better is that the peg on this one slots into the quiver. Man, is this a nice quiver. Look at how nice the arrows look on this thing, and the detailing all the way down. And yes, another Arashikage symbol on it. It's really easy to peg the sword in here, and then the whole thing fits on his back, and I have to admit, it looks great. Now, let's go ahead and do a couple comparisons. If we measure him, he's roughly 6.5 inches tall, and his styling, in my opinion, looks great next to anything in the line here. And you guessed it, I'm going to compare him next to Scarlet. She's my go-to. And Snake Eyes. Yes, I've had Snake Eyes for a while, both versions in fact. I just haven't sat down to do a review on them yet. Speaking of, if you'd like to see me do a side-by-side review of the Hasbro Pulse version of Snake Eyes and the more prominent one, the more retail one, leave a comment and give this video a like. If I get, say, 10 likes, I'll do a comparison review on them. I have to say, though, in the end, this guy's totally worth it. He's well built, looks great, and comes with plenty of fun accessories. If you're a fan of this line, or even just a fan of Storm Shadow in general, you could do worse than to pick this guy up. What do you guys think, though? Are you happy with this guy? Have you managed to get your hands on one yet? Let me know in the comments, and until next time, keep on collecting.